Welcome back to Shed2Ed. It's episode 32. Fun main event this week. Mackenzie Dern taking on Angie Hill.
I wasn't too hyped about it when it was announced, but after watching more Ange Hill over the last few days and a lot of Mac Dern, I'm actually pretty hyped up about this one. Two staples in the strawweight women's division, and it's going to be a fun one. About time their paths crossed.
Very intriguing bout. We will dive deeper into that later on. First off, let's take a look at draft battle. I grabbed heavy favorite Natalia Silva, and you grabbed Fluffy Hernandez. No faith in Edmund Shabazian. Hey, no golden boy this week for you?
No, not at all. I really like Fluffy Hernandez. Big fan of him after he beat the shit out of Mark Barrio for 10 or 12 minutes or so. He's unreal, crisp fighter, smooth grappling. You know, I think he's head and shoulders above the golden boy here.
There she is, second pick overall, Mackenzie Dern. And you're grabbing a lean, mean Joaquin at 170 this week.
Yeah, you snagged Mac Dern on me. I'm a big fan of her this week there too. But, you know, Ange Hill's no slouch. But Joaquin Buckley, he's got that power, and he's going to hit him right on the button. And we all know what happens with Andre Filio when he gets hit on the button and he goes down. No chin, no more.
No chin, no more. I was really disappointed to see Andre Fialio come on the scene, start racking up a couple wins, but I think the activity's working against him. He's getting bopped. I'm afraid Joaquin Buckley is going to put him out.
Yeah, and, you know, I like Andre as a fighter, but I just don't think he can stand in the ring with him. Yeah, after the first four, it gets a little bit all over the place here. We lean really heavy on the top four draft picks later on than the gambling picks, but you jump all the way down, grab Lupi Godinez facing against Emily Ducote. You know, I'm a big fan of Lupi in this one here as well, and I came back up and just went ahead with the next big favorite, and I took Nascimento over Ilir Latifi. These guys are pretty evenly matched, but I just figured I'd grab Nascimento here at even odds there.
I like Lupi. I have some confidence behind Lupi, and I don't like that matchup. We can talk about that heavyweight matchup later, but I don't really like it. I grabbed Carlos Diego Fajeda coming up against Michael the Menace, and you took Orion this week.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting pretty deep into the draft. Seen a pretty even fight between these two, but I'm just going to play the favorite in this one. Watched Orion versus Blood Diamond. He looked pretty legit there.
I don't really like Gilbert Urbina. As much as you might want to tail Orion, I'd also want to fade Gilbert. So I don't like Gilbert this week. I do like Orion this week.
Yeah, and I can't say the same about your pick there. Michael Johnson is pretty established live dog there, an underdog in 11 fights in his UFC career. So nowhere that he's not used to being. You got Vanessa DeMop over Carolina here. I wasn't really looking much towards this one at all, so I'm glad that you took that one, so I didn't kind of have to. And I watched a little bit of Thembo Garimbo there. He's big. He's got a huge frame for the weight that he fights at. Thembo is pretty long, but he's got to learn how to use his range, and then he wants to grapple a lot, so he's kind of got that tarantula kind of feel to him. He's just not disciplined enough not to let his opponent slip out of all of his grappling advances there. So I can see Takashi Sato being able to slip away if Garimbo gets him down. But this one can kind of go either way. The odds have slipped towards Garimbo's side as more of a favorite on this one, less of a pick 'em. So hopefully that works out.
Last two picks, both are gentlemen that fought Steve Garcia. Chase got knocked out by him, and Mahashate knocked out Steve, and we grabbed both guys.
That we did. Yeah, I was pretty happy that you grabbed Chase Hooper. I was kind of eyeing him the whole time, but he's just so unreliable. He's always a threat to hit that submission win, so I was afraid to even take Nick Fiore in the draft there. But I really like Mahashate. He's young. He's getting better every time he gets in there. You know, same as Chase. I think they're both maybe about 24 or so. Mahashate, I can really see him being a player in the lightweight division going forward, but Borshev, Slavaklaus, I don't like him. He's just a one-dimensional fighter, in my opinion. He's just got the grappling, the clinch. He's just going to hold on to him the whole time, and he's going to be able to waste some time like that, but he's got a one-way to victory, which is just holding Mahashate down or holding him against the cage and just not letting us witness the Mahashate speed and power that I'm hoping that he's going to demonstrate there. That's it.
I'll talk about Chase a little bit. You mentioned Chase is inconsistent. 2-3 in his last 5. Hell yeah, he's inconsistent. When Steve Garcia started to light up Chase Hooper on the feet, I did not like what I saw at a Chase. He was very lost very quickly. Why did I take him this week? Great question. Even though Chase is 2-3 in his last 5, he's got decent experience. I watched a fight with Nick Fiore. He did not have a lot of great ground game, and he doesn't have a lot of great experience. So I think Chase does have the experience advantage, and it's fun to root for the little guy. Come on, little buddy.
Let's go. Chase the dream, Hooper. Yeah, let's dive into it here. We're starting off with that wild card, Themba Greenbow and Takashi Sato. So that one's, the over set pretty low on this one. So we'll probably see a finish pretty early to get us started. And we got Ilir Latifi and Roger Nascimento, couple of heavyweight veterans on the card here. I'm excited to see how this one goes. We're going to see a lot of good ground game, a lot of good striking going both ways. This one's kind of up in the air for me. I wasn't confident enough in Ilir Latifi to actually bet on him here, but I'll take it to go the distance, I'd say.
I like that bet. I think we're both leaning Latifi. His last win, split decision, really iffy. He had a really tight fight with Corey Anderson a few years ago. He's not a very active guy either, so you don't have a ton of tape on Ilir Latifi that holds up. But I like him too.
Yeah, we seen him wrestle out Tanner Boser, and Boser was, a good chunk lighter than Latifi is. So this is going to be more evenly matched on the ground. So he's not going to be able to lean on him and dominate as much as he did against Tanner Boser.
I don't think you're going to see lay and pray in this fight, and I do lean Latifi. Look for Gilbert Urbina to disappoint you. Look for Vanessa Demopoulos to either come out competitively or just get shut out by KK. I think that the -130 just represents, no confidence. I think McGregor's -130 right now against Chandler. And I think we know KK has skills, but we just don't know if she can show up with them. So just a very soft favorite lean for KK this week.
The featured prelim got Slava Claus there. Man, what am I seeing? I'm excited to see Mahashate, man. I really hope I see him knock out Slava Claus, get him out of that cage. But look for Borshev to try and slow this fight down, make it uneventful. Make sure you turn off the TV after he's just holding him down, doing nothing.
No confidence in Miss Emily Decote. Like Loopy, do not like the Andre Joaquin fight. I think that's just a couple of guys who know how to get knocked out. And Diego Fajeda might be a little bit make and break for Diego. Or was he on a 3 skid? Mike's record is whatever. I don't need to talk about Mike's record. We know he has the skills. I don't think his record necessarily reflects his skill level in the competition. I think he should have a better record, but they feed him to too many killers.
Yeah, Michael Johnson's just been around for too long. As he fights down, he gets wins, and then he fights back up against the current strong competition. And, Mike is aging right now. So we'll see kind of wherever he lands. Any of Mike's fights now are 50-50, basically. Now he's fighting against the fighter that's older than he is even. So Diego Ferreira is on his way out himself as 38 years old. So I like Michael Johnson's odds in this one. I'm actually a big fan of this entire main card. I'm excited to see Lupi Godinez, big fan of hers. And I like Joaquin Buckley. He's smooth and crisp in the ring. I really like watching him fight. And Andre Fialho, he's good until he gets knocked out. So that one should be an absolute burner of a fight too.
I hear you leaning into Buckley. I think you might find yourself disappointed. I think Fialho is alive at +190. Great value as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. I do believe that he's got skills, but I just don't think he's going to last. My boy.
You're very excited about Mr. Hernandez, man. What do you see about Hernandez that gives you this confidence, and you just have no faith in Shabazian or what? Because
no,
I don't know, man.
No, not really. Shabazian did hit that head kick against Brad Tavares in the first round, but I think that was just kind of a lucky strike that he's not going to be able to land on Fluffy Hernandez. You turn on the Mark Barrio fight, and Hernandez just puts on an absolute clinic. I don't understand how he's slippery and sticky at the same time. He just moves into every position he wants to and just has absolutely no disregard for the other person's will at all. Edmund is not a grappler. He's not well-versed in takedown defense. He's going to be absolutely exposed. Hernandez, He hits 6 takedowns a fight. He's going to be shooting nonstop. He's a cardio monster. He's be absolutely all over Edmund in this fight. There's no hope for Edmund here.
I think you actually have better odds of Anthony pulling out the sub than you do of Mackenzie Dern pulling it off. I think in this main event, it's really Dern hits the sub early or Angie Hill drags her into deep water late. That's really how I see the main event going this week.
I can see the early Mac Dern sub, but I can also see a round 5 Mac Dern sub. You watch Angela Hill against Lupi Godinez, and come the final round 3, Ange Hill is gassed. Granted, that was a slugfest. Mac Dern is used to these championship rounds, but Angela Hill hasn't really been around main events that often. Mac Dern just main evented last time. So once it gets past round 3, you get in round 4, you get round 5, and Mac Dern's still hanging off you. She's going to work her way to the back. I don't like the under 4.5, but I'd have to take it. Doesn't go to decision, as Mac Dern, I think, is just going to pull it out at the end. Let's just jump into gambling picks. Pretty much just going to repeat everything that I said, leaning on the top 4 guys there, but let's go.
Star of the week, the Mr. Anthony Hernandez. Then Mackenzie Dern. You got Buckley this week. I'm kind of fading that, whatever. Michael Johnson, you kind of hoping the hands come through. And Mahashate as well. It's going to be a disappointing night for you if people just start laying and praying on your knockout artists.
Hey, nothing I'm not used to, man.
I suppose so. And then you got 3 submission plays. We have some beautiful submission specialists this week. You're rocking 3 submission plays.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see something fun Saturday night. So, running down, I got Fluffy Hernandez. He started at 1.3. You might have noticed in the draft, I had him at the table at 1.3. Leaning back towards the Golden Boy. That's not usually a good sign for the odds to get better for me, but I'm just going to take Fluffy at the discount, only 2 units instead of 3. Let's go. And I'm double dipping on Hernandez, 7 of 8 of his wins by sub. I don't think that the Golden Boy is going to be able to hang with him in the grappling game. And I just, I got a good feeling about Hernandez this week. Mac Dern, double dipping to Mac Dern too. I just went through all of that. I think she's going to drag her down, wear her down round 4, round 5. She's just going to work her way to the back, get that choke. So we'll really see in round 1 if Mac Dern's able to get her down with ease or not, how this fight might go. Latifi Nascimento, almost even odds on this one go, not even the distance. I can really see these guys taking their time and taking this one to the scorecards, really. Buckley by KO. I wasn't really feeling the minus 150 or minus 200 Buckley play. So, if he's going to win, I think he's going to be knocking him out. So let's go with the plus 110 KO, Buckley by KO. So Michael Johnson there. Mahashate, real big fan of Mahashate. I thought he fought really well against Rafa Garcia. Rafa's a lot better fighter than Borshev. I'm down on Slava Klaz, up on Mahashate this week. And then we got Chase the Dream Hooper as the long shot of the week. This one almost is a 50-50 for me. And if Chase Hooper wins, it's going to be by sub. He's not going to be able to control the fight long enough to win the rounds because he pulls guard and he loses top control. Going to give up top control to Fior in order to try and sub from the back. So Chase Hooper by sub. I don't mind throwing 0.3 units on that one. And we'll even it out here now. 10 units wagered to win 20.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's it. That's all I've got.
Should we just jump to the Gaethje Poirier too?
Yeah, I seen that was announced the other day. That's big hype on a big card right there.
Massive hype. We have Alex Pereira moving out of 185. He's going to just take a shot at Mr. Jan Blachowicz. Paulo Costa's fighting some guy. Tony Ferguson, I guess he made bail. He's fighting Bobby Green. And Mike Chiesa is fighting Kevin Holland.
Yeah, man. So many good fights on this one. I'm excited to see what Pahea does moving up to 205. As you recall, Izzy moved up to 205 to fight Blachowicz, and Blachowicz just held him down for 5 rounds straight. It was kind of bad to see, but it was kind of a beautiful thing. Big Polish power fan. So I'm excited to see that one. And I could talk for 20 minutes about this card, but I won't bother.
I love Jan Blachowicz. He's up there, man. He's a huge Shed2Ed favorite. I think he's going to get it done. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to this card. Next 3 pay-per-views are all set to be bangers.
Yeah, man, a lot of good fights coming up. Big summer coming up. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.